this episode of this podcast, we have Blade Frank. And he talks about Tinder and wants you to know God's not real.
Blade Frank.
How's it going?
It's going well. How's it going for you?
It's going all right, I guess. Nothing's really changed.
Nothing has changed.
Well, not in the last 5 months.
Well, I don't know what your life was like 5 months ago, so how about...
Let's start with that.
Yeah, how about you start with that?
What are you referring to?
What do you mean, what am I referring to?
Like what I did before?
Yeah, 5 months ago. What were you doing?
I was doing some comedy.
Some comedy.
Yeah.
Describe that so that people have an idea of what they can expect of you.
Okay, let me clarify. I was attempting some comedy for one, doing open mics almost daily, and testing out new shitty material.
The old open mics. Yeah, those are good. Do you have opinions on open mics? What are your opinions on the open mics?
There aren't.
If you don't know, we're based out of Spokane. I'm not a comedian, but I used to do when they are open, I like to do them. I used to do the stand-up open mics because I love doing stand-up. It's fun. It's good for stage presence reasons, But I want to know from a real, actual comedian.
Oh, you blessed me with that.
Yeah, a real legit-ass comedian. I want to know, what's your opinion on the local Spokane comedy open mic scene?
Well, if you want a legit opinion, you probably ask someone else, but I do have opinions on it. So the open mics here aren't so hot. There's only that's a loud echo I just heard. But yeah, there's only a couple that have ever been truly useful. The other times are just for getting it out.
Right. Just some place to do it.
Yeah, there's a few places with a good stage, good light, that makes it feel like you really gotta get the opinion from the audience. Whereas other places, it doesn't matter at all.
Right. Like the, what's that one you were hosting?
The Riff.
The Riff, yeah. The Riff is the best room in town,
It was, yeah. It's closed now.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. They have a new one in Hilliard, though, opening up, which I'm probably going to host that.
They have a Riff in Hilliard?
They're going to,
You're going to host it?
Yeah. Big stage.
Well, I hope I'm invited to the funeral.
Oh, yeah. Should be pretty shitty. But, yeah, that's exactly what I want.
No, I loved that mic because it was okay, so for those, anybody, I guess anybody doesn't know who what the Riff is. Everybody doesn't know. So the Riff is it's this shitty, tiny, one room, heavy metal bar kind of thing, somewhere in between a biker bar and a homeless shelter. You know what I mean?
Good description.
Yeah, there's just people with dogs in there all the time, and there's no room, and
holes in the wall.
It's just loud, It's impossible to get service because the one bartender's trying to get everybody drunk at the same time, and everybody's trying to get so drunk so quick, because nobody really wants to be at the Riff. But what I will say about the Riff in a positive way, as a performer, and particularly in doing stand-up, is that it was really, really fun. It was honestly one of my favorite open mics to do because there really were no stakes other than actual violence.
Yeah, they were so close.
So it was exciting, but also it was it's not you feel bad if you bomb. Because it's just some crazy people. You know what I mean?
Regulars.
And that was the thing. What was kind of cool about it is that there was always an actual, there are some open mic rooms where literally it's just the comedians going to do the open mic that are the entirety of the audience. You know what I mean? But what was neat about the Riff was that there were always these drunks there because it's the cheapest place to buy alcohol. So there was always somebody there to listen to your jokes, even if they weren't really listening to your jokes.
Yeah, it's also locally famous in terms of online. Look for dive bars in Spokane. That was the top one that came up.
Well,
So you'd always find strangers that are visiting town. They'd be like, "Oh, is this the Rift? Let's go." And so you'd find those people wander in. And
yeah, there's like a nice novelty to it, and also it's cool because I don't know another place where I can get like a rum and coke for $3.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's pretty nice for us poors. I actually don't know if you're poor. Are you poor?
yeah, usually.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I have
Yeah,
these
no, me
spurts
too.
when,
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
I didn't want to insult you or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not fluent if that's what you're asking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. That's too big of a word for me.
Oh, okay.
I don't have an exorbitant vocabulary.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. So you were doing open mics
Yeah.
5 months ago. That got ripped from your fingers because people are dying, I guess.
That's all I was
Everybody's
doing.
dying.
Yeah.
There's havoc in the streets. And, yeah, so what have you been doing to bide the time?
I mean, I originally wanted to focus on making skits, like comedy skits.
Skits.
Yeah.
You
like
seem like a
sketches.
sketch guy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of writing done on it, and we have some shows coming out here next week.
Oh, nice.
But
who
yeah,
you been writing with alone or with partners? Or?
Upper Left Comedy with Nick Blackerby and Rob. And all them. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I know them. The Possums.
Yeah. So.
The piece of shits.
Yeah, exactly.
The open
yeah,
micers.
they're all pieces of shit. But yeah, no, we've been doing some good work. We have this series coming out called Quarantimes.
Okay.
The premise is two guys that move in with each other right before quarantine starts.
Oh, and then they're trapped together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really
In
cute.
a small apartment.
I hope they fuck each other.
We get close, yeah.
Oh,
We have
that's
5
so
episodes
funny.
done.
I love guys fucking each
Yeah.
other. It's intrinsically hilarious.
Yeah, you're going to love episode 3 whenever it
Well,
comes out.
well, great. Yeah, let me know. What page is that going to be on? Like Upper Left Comedy,
I think it will go
page?
to Upper Left, yeah.
and
I have
that's
my-
on everything.
It should be, it should be on everything. Nick's
Okay.
going to handle all that.
Oh, Nick is great about that shit, man.
Yeah,
I think it's because he's an Asian guy.
it could be. He's really technical savvy.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying the technical. That's racist to say.
Oh,
it's
is
the
it to say they're
technical
really
thing.
good? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean like just the work ethic,
Oh, okay.
the actual follow through, and also the honesty of doing something when you're gonna say that you're gonna do something.
Oh, yeah.
Like as I'm sure you've experienced and probably participated in. There's a lot of well, what would they be called? Fake G's out here. You know what I mean?
sure.
Yeah, making plans, making promises, saying they're going to show up and then they don't.
My solution to like that, so I don't be lumped in with those guys, is I
Right.
just say no if I don't want to do something.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's what you would think you
Yeah.
would do.
It's
But,
a smarter thing to do.
Everybody says yes and then waits, like, to see what's the best thing they can do that night.
Well, the problem is people get really judgmental if you tell them no about things. They're like, you don't want to.
You think so?
Yeah. They
Can
get
you
really.
give me an example of this?
I mean, if someone invites you to a party, right? You don't show up. Like they're not gonna like get over it really fast. Like they're expecting you to go, especially if they like you, right?
Because your presence is such an amazing gift to an evening.
Kind of. It's more
if
like
you were to say no to a person, then surely they're distraught for at least a few weeks.
it depends who it is, right? So a lot of people don't like slights. That's why slights are so bad sometimes.
Slights?
Yeah, slights.
What
like
is
it's just
that?
a little. It's an unintentional insult to somebody.
Oh, like a microaggression.
It's like a microaggression.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a different
yeah.
form. Those are more racist. Slights just tend to be general. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Can slights be racist as well?
they can, yeah, and then that becomes a microaggression or a macroaggression.
I feel educated.
Something like that. I had jokes on the slides. They just never didn't. They never went so well.
Yo, you want to try them out here?
I know. I forgot. No.
No, obviously not. That's like the worst thing to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, you want to do some jokes, bud?
Dude, that's something that people that have never done stand-up really do not understand about stand-up. It's like there's one context in which this actually works. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's one context in which this is anything but ridiculously cringy.
Yeah. You
You
tell
know?
your family they're gonna try to laugh, or their facial expression will show you exactly how they feel before they.
Well,
Making
right,
noise.
and like I always think like I don't care to show like my music or my jokes or things like that, to my close family or friends because, when Jesus was in Nazareth, he wasn't appreciated by them because he grew up there,
Yeah, he also had a little God complex going on.
Right. Well, that's sort of the thing is that even my own mother, my sweet, dear, retarded mom does not recognize my genius.
Oh, yeah, that tends to happen. You show her, when you were starting out, did you show her things, like your art?
No, the masses would flock and she'd get caught in the crossfire. Yeah.
That's too bad. I tell my mom jokes, and she instantly dismisses them.
When you tell your mom jokes, do you, walk up from the basement and then just tell her? Or?
If we had one. We don't have a basement.
Oh, okay.
there.
But you do live with your mother.
I have been living there, yes.
Oh, okay, that makes
So
sense.
that's the problem with having a biology degree.
Degrees, man.
Yeah. You can't just go get a real job. They're like, yeah, we want 2 years experience. That's cliche to say at this point.
No. It's actually that shit is true. I was actually talking about that with Rob on the last podcast. College is it feels more and more like a scam every year.
Well, it's just
a little
degrees are starting to mean less, right?
Right, because they're adding more and more of what qualifies as a degree.
Yeah, well, they're also more just required in general for a lot of jobs. So more people have been getting them over the last few decades. Like in the 50s, having one of the bachelors be rare to find, right? Where now, you can get loans, you go all through that. Associates, no one gives a shit.
It's way easier to get one. And then also, I don't know if you've... so you went to college.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of your fellow students would you be like, man, this guy is going to be a really, really useful to society?
Oh, there was a bunch. Because I was in a STEM field, right? I wasn't
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So these were some really smart people, smart young people, too. Because I went to school, I graduated 28, 29. I forget exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after I got out of the Army, and then I did that.
Oh, you were in the Army?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do?
I was a chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear specialist.
Holy crap. That's
But
way
translation,
too many syllables.
I used to wash cars.
Right,
Yeah,
that's always
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
That's always what it is. I used to be a dietary aide.
Okay.
A lot of the aid was washing dishes.
Yeah, that's
You have
to do it,
Right,
Clean
right. Okay, well, I want to focus a little more, and at any point, if you feel uncomfortable or you don't want to talk about something, let's come up with a safe word. What's a good safe word for you?
I don't think I'll be uncomfortable, but how about pastrami?
Pastrami, okay.
That's my normal one.
All right. It is?
Except at sandwich shop orgies. Then that gets confusing, so.
Right, because people are like, he wants us to grab that.
Yeah, exactly. You eat and you have sex, and yeah, it's confusing. So, anyways, pastrami.
Have you been in those before?
Oh, all the time.
I really feel like the health department would have issues with that.
Well, they're usually after D&D bouts, then.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about D&D groups. Whenever I see a big D&D group of 8 dudes, I'm like, for sure, you're just circle jerking.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit's popular.
It's just all the closeted gay guys that like to play D&D anyway.
It's pretty true, yeah.
So you have guys where they get together and they're not gay as guys, but they're role playing.
That's exactly what
all
happens.
Together, and
every
they put
D&D
on costumes, and
every D&D game always results in some homoerotic character being formed by the Dungeon Master.
There's something, and usually they giggle about it.
Oh, it's just a joke.
Girls,
Is it?
Right? It's a little joke. Thank God we all have cloaks, so you can't see our boners.
Exactly.
So, how much D&D have you played personally?
None. I was just fucking around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you fooled me. You tricked me.
Yeah.
I feel deceived.
I do have an active imagination, so be wary. Gets the best of me, too, sometimes.
Your imagination?
Yeah.
What do you imagine?
Just anything absurd, any small little thing, and I have to keep it to myself because that's how I was raised. My mom always told me to shut up.
I
You
actually
don't
know. I don't. I actually don't know how you were raised,
Okay.
but you live with your mom.
Yeah, kind of.
So how were you raised? I suppose.
Like legitimately, like a serious question, or we want me to joke about it?
Well, I want you to just react the way you'd like to, because you're an adult human being.
Okay, I didn't know. Is this a comedy podcast or a discovery podcast?
Yeah. Well, so it's this podcast, right? So it's just what everybody else is doing, but it's me instead of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was raised.
You've been on a podcast before.
I've been on one.
Whose podcast?
I was on James May's podcast.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love James May's podcast.
Do you?
I love his podcast.
All right.
I've been on it 5 times.
Have you?
Yeah.
How long's it been going on?
Dude,
That
that
was
guy
new.
has been consistently putting them out for like at least a year and a half now.
He is pumping out content for sure.
Yeah, he is. He's working hard.
Yeah.
He's working really hard.
I mean, can't fault him for that. So
No.
Practice makes you better.
Right. Well, apparently it doesn't, because of course he sucks. But like him as a guy, I really like him.
Yeah?
And people think he's retarded. He's not retarded at all. He's not retarded.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. Depends to your definition. I
Well,
guess.
he's just. Well, I'm using it in a colloquial sense.
Okay.
Like some guy that plays
Like-
Fortnite.
Yeah. well,
Like
yeah.
a 13-year-old uses it. I'm
Yeah.
using a very juvenile
Okay, yeah.
sense of the word, and I think it should be used that way.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it could be used both ways. I think that's more appropriate than the clinical term in public, right?
Oh, right. Well, this is in public technically.
Yeah. But no, it's different. So you have your colloquial, like you said, that big word
Right,
there, hard
right.
to spell sometimes.
It is hard to spell.
And then you have your clinical one, which is the one people really hate. Like you can't.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing that people don't understand about people like me that think that there is an appropriate way to use that word colloquially, is that they think that, like, I don't care about retards, or like I think that they suck, or that they're worse than any normal person, or like that I'm just insensitive to their plight, in life. And that shit is not true, because the job that I have worked very, very closely with retarded people,
Yeah.
and for like almost a year and a half now, and I've gotten really close with some of them. Like, that's the thing that I don't know, just kind of pisses me off. But I've had ladies like on Facebook. I'll be in an argument, and I'll call something retarded, and they go, "Don't use that word. That's an ableist slur." And I just think, to who? Do you know how many times this retard I've worked with, that I've longboarded with for hours? He taught me how to longboard, this retarded guy. He taught me how to longboard. I've worked with him for hours. I can't tell you how many times I've, like, done something stupid, or just, like, like little mistakes you make throughout the day. And here's his response to me. Durr. He looks at me, and he does the retarded sound, and he, like, hits his shoulder. Like a mean guy in a grade school does.
Yeah.
He does that, and he's retarded. So exactly who is it a slur to? You know what I
it's
mean?
always people
like,
wanting to defend
he
others.
thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
He thinks it's funny. He loves it.
Exactly,
He uses it
yeah.
all the time. So I don't know. Who are you to say it? You ableist?
Yeah.
You fucking more bland human being. At least he has a goddamn personality.
Yeah. And a
You
sense
know
of
what I
humor.
mean? And a sense of humor, yeah.
People always want to defend people they feel better than or higher than. That makes sense. They can't
Yeah, that's a
defend
weird
themselves,
thing.
so-
But why would you think that you're better than a retard? You're not.
I don't know.
You're
I
not.
really don't.
In fact, if a retard was not retarded, he'd probably be smarter than you, because he acts smarter than you and he's retarded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like
yeah.
with those people, anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, they're great. I'm sorry, we were supposed to talk about your childhood.
We could. I mean, yeah, it's nothing. I mean, I can go through a brief overview. I mean, no, it's not.
Yeah. Let's as James May would say, let's gloss over it real
Okay.
fast. Yeah.
So I'm atheist. That's a big.
I couldn't
important
tell.
one. Yeah. So.
I actually have a question pertaining to that I'll ask you later.
Okay. Yeah. Not a problem. I think so. This comes from my childhood, right?
Yeah.
I lived in Hayden Lake when I was younger. Rathdrum, North Idaho area is where I grew up. but I used to go to Bible study when I was like 6 or so, right?
Okay,
6,
okay.
7. Hang out with the homeschool neighbor kids as their Christian parents send them to summer school.
You were homeschooled?
No, my neighbor kids were.
Oh.
And then I would go to Bible study with them. They're my great little friends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then they wanted me to memorize John 3:16,
Right.
and I didn't want to do that. Like,
Because you're an atheist.
Well, I didn't know back then if I was. I was
You
6.
just thought it was weird.
It was just weird. Like, why?
This?
Like, why do you want me to say this about this guy over and over?
Right,
Like,
right.
I didn't know this. Begotten Son, whatever. I still haven't memorized it. But then I just stopped going because I didn't want to do that. And I don't know, my mom let me, which is, I don't know if that was a good idea on her part. But yeah, and the neighbor kids wouldn't let me hang out. The parents of the neighbor kids wouldn't let me hang out anymore.
Unless you memorized Bible scriptures.
No, just because I stopped going to Bible studies. So
I get you.
They really hated me from that point. They hated a 6-year-old boy.
They hated you.
Yeah, I think so.
How did they express this hate?
Well, they lived across the street. I would go over there sometimes, and then I was not allowed to after a while. So I was 6. I can't really say it was in their head.
Well, let me because here's the thing: those people sound like complete fucking bigot assholes, right? They sound like complete fucking assholes.
Yeah, I'm still not over it. Really,
they sound like horrible, horrible people.
It's my first trauma.
You know, but what if they just didn't want you to pollute their children? Because you could easily convince their kids to go to hell.
It could be, yeah. They probably smelled my atheism on me.
Right, at 6.
Satan imbued in me,
Yeah.
It could be anything like that. Yeah, it's weird. I grew up poor.
Okay.
Did you grow up poor?
No, I didn't grow up poor.
We did.
I'm poor now.
It was like
now
spurts,
that I'm in charge of my own life, I'm poor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like spurts of real life. In real life, you have ups and downs, right?
Right.
My ups when I was younger would come from my mom getting a nice sugar daddy to hook up with for a couple of years, and then you get a little up, and then you get a little down.
Sure.
Because it wouldn't last,
Would you try to set your mom up with people like that?
I don't think I can now. She's shackled to a permanent one. But
yeah. Well, good for her, I think.
Yeah. I mean, she's not a fan, but
she's not a fan.
I think once you reach a certain point, when you're with somebody, you're just like, okay, this is how it is forever now.
Yeah, getting married is stupid.
Yeah, she's been married 5 times. So.
Do you think that's right? That statement is true.
I think the ceremony of marriage is pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But the symbolic
the
idea
lifestyle
of it
or
is,
whatever.
I mean, I'm fine with monogamy. That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd appreciate if I ever could get a girlfriend that she was monogamous. That'd be a bonus.
You don't want to be cucked out all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big cuckold guy. But
no, me neither. I haven't shaken hands with many cuckolds that I've respected.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
And I don't mean to kink shame. I just mean it seems to bleed into too much of their personality,
Well, it seems like I don't know, this is my own opinion on cuckolds.
Everything you say is.
Yeah. Well,
so
people should tell me that more so I quit getting
I'm trying to do it myself. That's the
Okay.
only reason I'm on your ass about it. I'm trying to stop saying things like, in my view, because of course it's in my fucking view. I'm saying it.
It's funny you say that because I don't do that in my writing. I was yelling at somebody the other day when I was writing because they called me condescending. And I was like, no, when I say something, it's because I think it. It's my own opinion. I don't have to say it's my own opinion every time.
Yeah.
But no, it called me condescending, and that was that. So that's been happening. Yeah, my opinion on cuckolds is that I can't respect them either, like you said, because I just imagine they're so used to watching sexual acts happen that I think they're always imagining sexual acts happen. They're always watching and imagining how this would be like being their own little sex fantasy,
Maybe. I'm not a cuckold. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. It's some people make the argument that cuckolds are actually more alpha than guys like you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Guys that would never cuck.
Yeah, I know.
We'd never cuck, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because I would cuck. I'd let someone watch me. If they paid me.
Well, that's the argument is that it's like how like insecure in your relationship are you that you can't let a black guy with a bigger cock fuck your wife.
She's gonna come back. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves you ultimately.
Sure, a lot.
You're just not enough for her.
I wonder what the stats are on it though. Like how many do leave for that big nice black cock?
I don't know.
No.
Because that's the thing. If you're a big ol' I hate to use too many internet-y terms like this, but if you are like a big cuckold beta guy, a simp or whatever.
Simp,
yeah, if you're simping real hard, then you actually can really fulfill a nice role in a woman's life that can in her sexual proclivities can be satiated by a more dominant male, basically like a wildebeest of a human being,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to do all the fun stuff like talk her through emotional breakdowns or buy her tampons and all the stuff that really the man is supposed to do in the relationship.
Yeah. I see your point.
Yes. So, you could always look for something like that.
I mean, at this point, I'm so desperate. I'd take anything.
Well, ladies out there, you heard it here first.
I should clarify though, my opinion on cuckolds of women though. That's different. I would let any woman watch. I like in terms of like polygamy as well. Like,
so you'd let like a woman watch you.
Yeah, I'd let
be
a woman
studding
watch
up
me.
on
I'd let
your
my
lady.
girlfriend just scissor all day if she wanted to.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's an insertion thing.
So you're against the guys doing it, but not the ladies?
Yeah, maybe I just don't want the surprise of in the operation room during the birth, and then it comes out and you're like, okay, maybe that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be evolutionary too. I mean, I don't know.
It probably is.
Yeah, because I'm not threatened by female lovers as I would be like a man coming in, because probably beat me up. I don't want that.
Well, a woman could probably beat you up too. They're strong. They're independent.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about evolutionary terms. So like,
so
right.
Like
a man would probably just like kill me with a rock behind the bushes and then go and take over the tribe.
Sure.
Take my tent.
Yeah, I feel like usually people just ask through Instagram DMs now.
Is that how it works?
I don't think they usually murder the male to. Yeah, I don't think that seems archaic.
I think literally is archaic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
So okay, so let me check in with you real quick. Are you having fun? Are you having a nice time?
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. As
I'm
long
gonna
as you're
talk
having
much.
a nice time.
I should do more podcasts because I like.
You know what? You should, man. You have some good things to say.
Yeah, I should say. Yeah, do I? Do I though?
I think so.
Okay.
Here, let me ask you a question. Now, this is a question I wrote beforehand. Okay. You mentioned earlier you're an atheist. Now, actually, I lied to you earlier when I was like, oh, I couldn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very heavy intuition that you were an atheist.
Yeah,
God told me you were.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. I prayed and, he revealed himself to me and told me that you're lost,
Yeah. Well, I have jokes about it too. Maybe that could have been how you knew.
Well, you want to try some of them out? Or?
No, I don't.
No, I'm
No.
sorry. I'm
Just
sorry.
saying.
I'm sorry.
You might
Okay.
have heard some.
Okay. All right. Well, so here's the question. So you're an atheist. When did you decide to be smart?
It's funny you say it like that because it's once I started reading legitimately nonfiction, once I started studying things, So go to my early Army days, right? So around 19 in basic training, my opinion on like God was more like agnostic. So I wasn't an atheist before that. I was more like, I don't give a shit. What are you talking about? That's mainly what that's about.
Gotcha.
But back when I was like 19, I was more agnostic, like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, if it does or doesn't exist, cool. And then over time, like, I think 2013 is when I really started reading hard. And then I started reading, like, Dawkins, how he can be.
Yeah.
Dawkins were like, yeah, God's a piece of shit. understand evolution.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I agree.
Really aggressive.
Yeah.
Really aggressive.
But really compelling as well.
Who do you like? Who do you like more, Dawkins or Hitchens?
I haven't read much Hitchens. I do like Hitchens.
I haven't read much Hitchens either. I just listened to his debates.
Yeah, he's pretty good at debating.
Yeah. I love his fat and whiny style.
Yeah, that's his voice coming out. But yeah, no, he's a great writer. He's probably
he
one
was
of the best.
Much smarter guy than me before he croaked.
Yeah.
Now he's just nothing.
He has the reputation, or did have the reputation, of being as eloquent in his speech as he was in writing. So the way he could formulate.
Yeah, very nice. Very well-spoken man.
Yeah,
very well-spoken.
That's a rare skill.
It is a rare skill, especially nowadays, You're finding a decreasing amount of the population that can speak eloquently.
Yeah. And it's not memorized either, which is the other thing too. Like, he didn't memorize all that stuff. He just
this is shooting from the hip.
Yeah. Whereas like I can't even memorize a tweet. That's how I bet it is for me.
You can't memorize a tweet. Okay. I'm not on Twitter. Should I get on Twitter? I didn't think so.
Unless you like bad jokes.
I'm trying to because I'm trying to figure out ways to actually promote some of this shit so anybody ever will listen to it. We got like a whole 20 views on the last one, so that's good.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about Twitter, and I was like, that might be a good avenue, but it also seems like it might not be worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be in an environment where I constantly have to think about tiptoeing around guidelines.
Well, Twitter is less strict than Facebook. So
with like porn.
Well, you have porn on there. They don't really ban people that much unless you're like a really far right Nazi. Then they will. But
right. It is bad, just so that everybody knows.
Where the bad comes in, though, I think, in my opinion, on Twitter, you have most people just saying pithy jokes. Or their pithy statements in general. Then you have your just trending news always makes the top. And Twitter has this policy, because they want viewership to go up, they always send you notifications. You can't turn them off.
Oh, that sucks.
So they'll just pop up in the top of my phone when I'm trying to do something, and I'll, how most exit buttons are in the top right in pages. I'll try to click one of those or scroll down on a page. I accidentally click on the tweet, and then it opens Twitter.
Yeah, it's very addictive.
Has its problems.
It's like crack.
Well, they make it addictive on purpose. Like, you gotta check this out. Look what he said. Look what Gary Goldman said.
Right. I don't know who that is, but
yeah, pretty good one. But anyways is not the way to say that. Anyway is the way to say that.
I sort of think that as long as the words you're saying, the other person knows what you meant, then you're speaking well enough.
That makes sense. Yeah. No pedantics? You don't like pedantics?
No, I'm not a pedantic fella.
Okay. Anyway. Atheist.
Yeah.
You may be surprised here. I think Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson is what really pushed me over the edge.
Okay. Would you explain for the listener? Because I know what that is. But
yeah, Ralph Waldo Emerson's a transcendentalist. Who most of the time when he refers to God, it's analogous with nature. It's the same thing. Right.
And like Old Testament God and the nature of nature.
Yeah,
are extremely similar.
It's just one and the same. God is all, nature is all.
Right.
And nature is you. Everything would just become that. I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but I don't need to say that. I just say nature is nature and God doesn't exist. So really, what?
Right. The nature is the God.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to have that.
Right.
Have some deity.
Well, that's the weird thing about human beings. There's this person or entity that none of us can hold or smell or touch the same way you can a table or a woman. And yet everybody has this weird desire to seek and find it.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a single human being that doesn't have an opinion on the thing.
Yeah, everybody loves their own opinions too. So.
No, I don't think so.
You don't love your own?
No, I don't love I don't love my opinions.
Do you? What do you mean? Like you don't feel strong about anything?
Well, I feel strongly about things, but to me, it's It's the same way as like, I don't know. Do I love that I turn the key in the ignition of my car and it starts? It's good.
That's not an opinion, though. That's you know what I'm talking about.
Well, my opinions are that solid. They're that rock solid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't care about the normative.
Ask me any opinion. I'll give you a rock solid one.
Oh, okay.
That you cannot poke holes in. I dare you to try.
How do you feel about Barack Obama?
Barack Obama? I feel like he was a president.
That's not it's not an opinion. Is it? Does that count as opinion?
Oh, well, I don't know, man. Everything's subjective.
So I've been trying to figure out something.
Yeah.
So when people call me condescending for voicing my views, right, I've been trying to figure out what the problem is.
They call you, your viewers call you condescending.
Well, not my viewers on YouTube. No, it's more just people on Facebook.
Okay.
So that's
like people you know in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Facebook, they'll challenge me. On real life, they don't.
No, everybody's a bitch.
Yeah, so they'll call me that, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. So you have two different approaches to conversation, right? You have like types of things you say. You have positive, which is you're saying facts, right?
Sure.
Then you have normative, which you're saying how it should be, or how you think it should be, or how you think it is.
Opinions.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times I'll say positive statements. A lot of the times when I'm saying things about like thought processes.
You spit straight facts.
Yeah, a lot of times. If I try, I'll do my own opinions, but I want to make it clear. But it seems like people are confusing the facts with my own opinion, and they're like, "You're fucking talking down to me, dude." Like, that's what I think is happening to some extent, but I still got more discovery here.
Right.
It's just, I don't know, like I tell them how like evolution works, right?
Right.
Just I have a degree in biology. It's kind of, I learned what it is.
You learned how it works.
So if I explained to them how we think in terms of evolutionary theory, they're like, oh, dude, fuck you. Like,
Right. But you've read the book that explained that.
Yeah, the book on evolution, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and talked to the human beings that knew the answers to life.
Yes. There's a few volumes on the book of evolution. They all just pick on religion. That's all they do.
Yeah. No, people really, really hate religion, which is weird because it's not real to them.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird that they hate something that's not real.
Well, religion's real people, right?
Well, yeah, I suppose religion's real. But I mean, like you're talking about with Dawkins. Like, Hitchens did the kind of this, he strikes me, he gives a similar vibe, I guess. Like, there's this thing of like, I can understand a guy that hates that like ideologically the way that has affected the world, right? I can understand that. But then there's also like things like stories like Hitchens shaking his fist at nothing on his deathbed and being like, there's nothing, there is no God. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, then cool, just fucking shut up then. Just die then.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because who cares?
Yeah, at that
What's
point,
it matter? It's not real.
Yeah, he spent his whole life trying to convince people, like, there's other things to worry about.
Yeah, I think God really hurt that guy's feelings somehow.
I mean, he has a good point, though. Belief in God has caused so much misery in the world.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The only thing that believing in God has caused is murder.
Yeah, is large or overlooking murder is another huge one.
Back when I believed in God, I just couldn't stop fucking killing people.
Yeah,
in the name of Christ.
Well, I mean, you got all the serial murderers out there too that believe in higher power.
Right.
You got those guys that they believe they're possessed by God to some extent. Weird things. You listen to Dan Cummins' podcast?
Mm-mm.
No, he does a lot of true crime.
Oh, sure.
But it's comedy, so that's probably why I can talk about it so lightly.
Murder's really funny.
It depends how you frame it, or the types of people. I guess that's funnier to me is the types of people because they're all wacky dudes.
Yeah, they're just silly guys.
It's just silly. They think they're right about something. So right about what they're doing that they do it, even though they're completely wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing, man. Is that's what everybody does.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just depends on what you find yourself convinced of.
Yeah, we just have different scales, I guess.
Yeah.
So, did I answer your question earlier about atheism?
About atheism? When did you decide to be smart?
Yeah.
Your answer was effectively 19.
Okay.
So, yeah, you did answer it. Here, let me hit you with another one. How much research have you done on Hitler in the last 3 months?
Fair amount.
Yeah, a lot, I would assume. More
Well,
than your average human being.
I've actually read, what's that book called? I always forget the name of some books. His De Fuhrer, is that the name of his book? No, Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf
I
is
read that a
Hitler's
while ago. I didn't like it.
magnum opus.
Yeah.
You didn't like Hitler's worldview?
Sorry, that's my personal opinion. I understand people like it.
Yeah.
But what's weird about that book is that you can like it, is the weird thing. You can like some things he says. Like, yeah, this guy's pretty reasonable sometimes. Then he'll just say some wacky ass shit.
Like he's a whole human being.
Yeah, like he just has like good logic sometimes, then he just goes off the rails.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about Hitler is that what he was able to accomplish was so detrimental that the way we look at him as a human, we don't look at him as a human. We look at him as a force. You know.
Yeah. You don't see many Adolfs anymore, or Hitlers.
No. Yeah, it's
in
true.
the office. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about something the other day.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, man. My opinions, they're
Rock
rock
solid. Got
solid.
it now. I was confused at first. I think I understand. But what's weird, if Hitler never existed, we wouldn't be where we're at here. We would have had a different world war in between that time and now, for sure. There's no way we wouldn't have.
You think the world would be better off or worse off?
I mean, it really depends. Our technology would have been better, a little bit better. But like maybe I don't think would have discovered the bomb. We had no reason to discover the hydrogen bomb at that point, right? We did that after we dropped the nukes. All right, but it's weird. I was thinking, do you like anime and stuff in Japan?
Do I like anime?
Yeah,
Do you like anime?
I love anime. Yeah.
Yeah, I like anime, I guess.
All right. Well, Japan is an interesting thing here because you know about the atom bombs that dropped there, right?
Yeah.
There's all these arguments like, it made them surrender and stuff
Hiroshima.
like that. Would have went a lot longer, and then people like counter arguments like, no, Russia was about to invade, that's why they surrendered. It had nothing to do with the bombs. They didn't drop that. No.
Nothing to do with the bombs. Killed
yeah.
thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands for
Yeah.
sure. But people fail to like look at the other lens. Like Japan is so awesome right now. Like they wouldn't have been this cool. Like,
You think we separated the wheat from the chaff with that bomb?
not with the bomb, but with the
Maybe
war.
we should drop a bomb on our own country.
No, maybe, but the results of the
Well, don't say that. The CIA will come knocking at your door.
I wouldn't do it. No, never mind.
Are you gonna ask me if I would
I
drop
was
the bomb?
I decided like obviously not.
I'm not an engineer.
Oh, okay, probably would need that. But no, I was trying to say the Second World War, the results of it in terms of Japan.
Mhm.
If they didn't do that, if they didn't participate, they would have still been an empire. They would still an emperor. They'd still be bowing to the feet of some fucking dude with some special bloodline.
Yeah.
But after the Second World War, he got deposed, and now they are technological, like one of the best. In
Yeah,
the
and
world.
now look at them, man.
Mm.
They're so technologically progressive
Mhm.
that the guys won't even have sex with women anymore.
Is that what's happening over there?
Yeah, that's actually a crisis in Japan.
Oh.
That women have become obsolete because technology is so good.
Oh yeah, they do
That all
have.
these guys, they don't need women.
They have a lot of sex dolls.
Yeah, so thank God we dropped that bomb on them, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah, they'll come. Yeah, the sex dolls will be here eventually once we streamline it.
Oh, I hope not. God, that is so fucking like serial killer, like no soul. You have no soul if you want to fuck a doll.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but yeah, the other thing we have to understand though is that people want to do that. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's true, you know, and you got to let people do whatever they want to do ever.
It's better that they fuck a doll that's lifeless and cold than a dead body. So, if you want to present alternatives for them, that's one of them.
Well, you know, I'm not always of the mind that two wrongs make a right, but you've persuaded me.
Okay, cool. What was that question?
Do you? How much research have you done on Hitler? Do you want to?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
so-
we should explain why.
I mean, yeah, I can explain why.
Thank you for listening to this podcast with me, Frank Sinclair. On Posh Played for Frank, he explains why he researches Hitler